In a week filled with noise, one voice rose above the rest, and it may have just shaken the Democratic Party to its core. You know, when you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two? That line came not from a comedian or a talk show host, but from Senator John Kennedy, and it sent shockwaves through Washington. His target? The four progressive congresswomen known as the Squad: Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley. And he didn't stop there. "I consider them to be fools," Kennedy said bluntly. "They hate America. They think America was wicked in its origins, and even more wicked today. They ought to be thanking America instead of calling it evil, wicked, and racist. But this is America, and they have a right to their opinion." He wasn't ranting, he wasn't whispering. He was standing on the Senate floor, eyes steady, voice clear, delivering one of the most blistering takedowns we've seen in recent memory. And he wasn't done yet. According to Senator Kennedy, this isn't about simple political disagreement. This is about undermining the country itself. He believes the Squad isn't just offering different views, they're dismantling the very foundation on which America was built. He even went as far as to say, half joking, but full serious in tone, "If I didn't know better, I'd think the Squad were GOP plants, because they're destroying the Democratic Party from within." It wasn't a soundbite, it wasn't a meme. It was raw, unfiltered, and aimed not just at four women, but at the entire progressive movement. Why now? Why this week? Because the pressure cooker of American politics finally blew its lid. The country is teetering between two worldviews, one that sees America as flawed but redeemable, and one that sees it as broken beyond repair. And then came the spark. AOC stood firm, doubling down on previous controversial statements. The United States is running concentration camps on our southern border, and that is exactly what they are. She wasn't backing down. She cited 24 deaths in those centers under Trump's administration and accused political rivals of weaponizing language rather than focusing on the deaths of children. The result? An explosive national debate. Kennedy refused to play that game. To him, it wasn't about words, it was about loyalty. And he's not alone. Millions of Americans listened to AOC compare detention centers to Nazi death camps, and they weren't just offended, they were furious. They see the Squad push for open borders, higher taxes, radical climate policies, and sweeping social reforms. But what they hear is chaos. Kennedy broke it down with a cold clarity. They think illegal immigration, socialism, higher taxes, and abortion are all moral goods. And they think America, Israel, and free enterprise are moral bads. That statement wasn't just bold, it cut through political jargon like a knife. This wasn't about budgets, this wasn't about healthcare plans, this was about values. It's about whether you see America as a nation worth fighting for or a nation worth tearing down.
Kennedy added that the president had already made his position clear. If you're not happy living in America, leave. It's a free country. That's not censorship. That's clarity. He believes that disagreement is welcome, but hating the country that gives you the platform to speak, that's a different story. And here lies the deeper conflict. This is no longer just Republicans versus Democrats. This is patriotism versus pessimism, conviction versus cynicism, love for country versus loathing of its past. AOC believes the system is rigged. She calls capitalism exploitation. She calls the immigration system cruel by design. She says America is systemically racist from top to bottom. But Kennedy and millions of Americans are saying, if that's how you feel, why are you even here? That may sound harsh, but for some it's not hate, it's heartbreak. Because real love of country doesn't mean silence in the face of injustice. It means standing up, speaking out, and fixing what's broken without burning it all down. That's the real philosophical divide. Not just in Congress, but in classrooms, boardrooms, and living rooms across America. So here's the question now. Did Senator Kennedy go too far? Or was it the wake-up call America desperately needed? Is AOC a bold truth teller or a radical voice dragging the country toward a cliff? We want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. We read every single one.
And if you're someone who still believes in truth, courage, and calling it like it is, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and stay tuned because we're just getting started. This is National Alert, where truth doesn't whisper, it roar.